All right, what's up, guys? It's Mitchell or Deity, and today we're going to be going over the Selector tickets that are going to be coming. I'm going to be going over the characters for this video. The artifact video is a little bit more in depth, I think. There's going to be some more like variances within that, so I'll do that next. But we're going to be talking about the characters I would suggest picking from the Selector. So I'm going to go ahead and change this over real quick. You guys can see the full list of characters that we are likely going to be getting. There's a chance they'll add limiteds to it, but very, very unlikely. They never have in the past. So when we've got selectors like this, then it's always just been the RGB available characters, red, green, blue. So here is the list for that. We are going to have Abigail, Sermia, Huayun, Ken, Ravi, Cecilia, Charlotte, Ilnav, Lilius, Haste, Kairon, Bihu, Bamalikana, Elagos, Litica, Araminta, Bon Sazan, Kyric, Melissa, Polytus, Tenebria, Tamarin. Those are going to be your fire options. So if you are following the guide series, there's going to be a list of characters that I would say are worth taking because I don't know what characters you have. So some of you guys might have a lot of my overall top strongest picks. And if you have those, then you can go ahead and select based off what you think you might need. It's going to kind of depend. I'm going to talk about each one a little bit. But overall for fire, Polytus, Abigail, Lilius. These are going to be the three easiest to gear characters that are going to be great for PvP. This is going to be a PvP focused thing. I think the PvE in this game is super easy. There's no reason to stress about PvE in any capacity. So I'm never going to suggest you to get a character that's only going to be good in PvE that you can't use in PvP. So with that, because once you do all the PvE, there's no PvP or PvE left to do. And the only thing left in this game to do is play PvP, RTA. So that's the only unlimited game mode you can play that has any fun, in my opinion. But some people love PvE, and if that's you, this won't be for you. So just get that out of the way. First up, Polytus, Abigail, Lilius. Polytus does not have a banner for Story Summon. So I still think Shu is by far the best pick from Selective Summon 2. So if you having Shu can single-handedly win you games. She can just solo team. She's amazing in terms of a PvP standpoint. I think Shu has overall more value than Polytus, but Polytus is still great. Polytus is easy to gear. She's going to work for you well. You can put her on pretty much anything and she'll work. But she's not going to just win you a game. She can if you land a stun or something. But with Polytus, it's your other characters surrounding her that gives her more value. So by having Polytus, but without the surrounding characters within your PvP comp, Polytus will not be able to just kill everything unless they're cleaving you. So she doesn't have as much overall self-value that Shu does. So that's why I highly suggest Shu from your Selective Summon 2. But Polytus is still great. She's always viable because they keep releasing characters with non-attack skills. So every time they release one of those, it's just immediately, oh, Polytus kind of counters this already. So that's a character that I think could be pretty good. Next up, we have Abigail. Abigail is a super easy to gear character. You do not have to build her on damage, and she will allow you a safety net when getting into PvP. So one thing is we are going to be drafting Aiden constantly, as well as Spectre Tenebria. They are both characters. Aiden is an RNG character that has a chance to just get hit and die right away. So by having Abigail there, it allows for a second life for her, basically. So Abigail will make your back character not have a chance to die, which is super, super nice. So she makes the backline unit, if they were to die, they gain immortality and a vampiric touch to where, I think it's vampiric touch, but where when they deal damage, they're going to heal based off the damage they do. But she also is a way to fight evasion units because she has the ability at the start of each of her turn, she's going to put curse on them, allowing you to attack another unit and do passive damage to the unit that is cursed. So she has a ton of value for our way that we're going to be getting into early PvP, getting into early RTA when I'm teaching you guys how to play that effectively. So now we have Lilius. Lilius is just an overall good knight option. She isn't super, super good, but by having her, she is best on a specific artifact is the problem. But by using Lilius, she's good in PvE too. She allows dual attacking on her skill 1. Her skill 3 is a full cleanse. So it will cleanse everything on your team. So having an additional cleanser, some extra damage because she's going to be dual attacking, it allows for a lot of combinations that you can do within PvP and PvE. And early game PvP, having a more consistent cleansers is always great. We're going to have Dustina if you're following the guide, and she's going to work fantastic for cleansing. But having an additional cleanser that also fills a knight role is really, really nice. So these are going to be my top 3 picks for fire. Now for water, Arya. Arya is pretty hard to gear. Overall, the water characters for this, I didn't see anything I really liked. Our water characters are going to be Chloe, Shu, Sigrid, Taeyu, Crow, Tywin, Kisei, Pyra, Rand, Sez, Flan, Lua, Arya, Ida, Lulika. So the only characters for newer players that I like out of that list is going to be Arya and Crow. So Arya is harder to gear, but once you have her geared, she is fantastic for PvP. It's not a character I see many of you guys gearing too early. She is going to be a lifesteal set character. She needs sustainability to really pop off. So she's a character that if you get, you'll be able to use her eventually. In terms of Crow's a character you can use right away. So Crow is going to fill a knight role. He has true damage on his S3, meaning that depending on how much HP he has lost, he is going to do that number of damage to the opponent, I think plus a little bit more. But it's very close to whatever HP he's missing. So you can build him very, very tanky, and he can just delete units, whatever one you pick. So that is super, super beneficial. He also will be run on Aureus, so he will be taking damage even when they don't want to hit him. He'll always be taking damage, and he gives defense buff to your team. And he provokes with the skill 1. So overall, he's just a solid option. And a lot of people are using him in RTA again. Not as much as the other knight options, but he still does see quite a bit of use now, which is nice. Some players, just that's their play style. They pick Crow, and then that's their knight option. So he is overall going to be good. Now, 3 very strong characters are going to be Lua, Pyra, and Rand. But to utilize any of these, they need to be built high speed. So if you're trying to build a Rand at 240, 250, 260 speed, he is not going to be usable in PvP. You might be able to use him in some arena or like challenger arena, but overall trying to force speed on your account is going to get you in a spot where you're picking characters that are not doing their true value, meaning that there's not much point to pick them. You could pick a better built character that isn't reliant on having 280 speed. I would suggest if you cannot build any of these characters, or at least Pyra or Rand on 280 speed, I wouldn't even bother using them. You could be playing in bronze RTA and fight 315 Rand. It happened to me the other day. And gold RTA, I've fought it had to have been 315 because I had multiple 300 speed characters, and he outsped me by 8% on the CR bar. So doesn't matter your rank. If you guys, that's a common question is, can I get or how fast do I need to be for a certain rank? Once you get into the ladder, there is no consistency there. Like, yes, you might be able to get away with 260 for some fights, but overall, that 260 gear set you put on Rand, if you were to put it on another damage dealer and make them 230, 240, it's going to end up being better overall. So that's why I don't suggest picking Lua, Pyra, Rand as a new player, but if you're an existing player with speed, these are going to be great picks for you. Next up, we have Grass. Grass Asaria. Here we go. The first one I have on here. If you're worried about PvE in any way, if you've been like getting conflicting information because everyone else suggests Asaria, I'm the only person that's made a guide that suggests Estina that I'm aware of. If you are worried about PvE, just grab Asaria. Now you don't have to worry about it anymore. She'll cover the biggest difference in my guide compared to others. You'll be good to go. So if you're following and picked Estina, you can grab Asaria, and then now you can pretty much follow both versions of any later game content that people suggest to you. So that way you don't have to rely on me for everything. You can kind of get guidance from multiple people because you'll have more characters. So overall win-win. I don't have to hear about, why are you picking it anymore? I don't have to hear about that. So that is an option. But if you're focused on PvP and you really wanted to get into the RTA of this game, Rowana, fantastic. She's going to be my number 1 option there. Rowana is going to be usable in PvE and PvP, and she's just a staple character in PvP right now with ML Landy coming out. ML Landy is a nightmare to fight. Rowana can help with that. So fantastic character as at the point of this video, and I don't see her not being fantastic. For her gear set, you can put her on the free protection set that you're getting from Malekith's Consciousness, the Labyrinth area. And putting her on that free protection set, you're going to automatically have a free gear set for her. She's going to work great. She doesn't need any speed, and you'll be fine. So Rowana is a super easy character to gear as well. You don't have to put her in protection. You can just do a free lifesteal set from Chapter 2. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to worry about speed, just much bulk as possible on her. Little effect res, you're good to go. Next up, I'm going to say my second pick there is going to be Senya. Senya is another character that is can single-handedly solo enemy teams. So Violet is a character that could be on here, but Senya is just overall almost always a better pick than Violet. So Senya is just going to be the number 2 pick from that. That's probably who I'm going to get from my story summon on the tutorial account is going to be Senya next. She is just amazing. So as you're getting into PvP, you're going to be needing anti-cleave options, and Senya is one of the best you can get for that currently. So at least character you can get for free or from story summon and things like that. So easy to get character. She's pretty easy to gear. There are a billion different styles of builds for her. You can do effect res, you can do effectiveness, you can do super high attack with no effectiveness or effect res. She doesn't need crit chance or crit damage. All of her damage is based off her attack. So, and she's a tank, so she has survivability. Her personal artifacts are best in slot, but you can use other artifacts on her, and she works just fine. So Senya is going to be way up there. Now Sharoon is amazing. Sharoon is a light or a soul weaver that is absolutely great. I don't see her falling off in the meta anytime soon with all the HP scaling damage dealers we have and all the buffs. She is just so good because applying Venom adds injury damage to where those characters, one, as you get injured and lower your HP, you do less damage if you're an HP scaling damage dealer, adding to your survivability. So Sharoon just is so good for new players getting into PvP. She cannot be used in PvE anywhere, and neither can Senya, though. So that is the thing. These are full focus PvP characters. Next up, we have Alencia and Zahak. Alencia and Zahak are both pretty good. Zahak, yes, he is a little bit harder to gear, but you don't have to gear crit chance on him. You only need 50. So it makes the barrier to building Zahak much easier than a character like Ran. You could build a Zahak on 250 speed, and you'll be pretty fine with that. So Zahak is a fantastic pick from this, as well as Alencia. Alencia, you can get her, put her, or you can buy the free injury gear from Arena, and you can make her built decently well, at least well enough to be used, and she's another injury character in her kit. And if she's on injury set, she can just dismantle characters that are HP reliant. So she can be great as well. But the order I have that in is basically pretty, or I told you the order I would pick them. Now, if you are not a player who is following my guide series, overall strongest is going to be Destina, Shu, Tamisaria. Those are just like, those are my top picks. So Tamisaria for your PvE content, Destina, Shu for early PvP. Those are just staple picks. If you pick them, you're not going to go wrong. They're going to be great forever. So these are just super good picks. To 4 easy picks off the top of my head. If you have all these characters, you can go up to my Fire, Water, Grass, the new player suggestions. And if you don't have those, I can explain them. But these would be my go-to. Grab them. They're amazing in every way. All of them are. So Tamisaria, PvE, Destina, Shu, PvP. Now my overall top suggestion, if you're not worried or non-PV worried with the guide, so if you are watching the guide and I just gave you all these options, my suggestions would be Rowana, Senya, Politis. So depending on if you have any of these characters, if you have Rowana, Senya, pick Politis. If you have Rowana, I would say Senya over Politis still. But that is up to you because you can get Senya from story summons, so you may want to get Politis. So these would be my overall top 3 suggestions for PvP, but Rowana does also fill some PvE roles. So overall, that is my advice for the selector coming up. This may change if they say there's limited characters in there. This whole video will be thrown away and we'll make a new one, and it will be much different because there's some pretty good limiteds that I would say are worth grabbing, but I highly doubt they'll do that. They've never done it in the past. It is 5-year anniversary, so we never know. But overall, I think that's going to be it. So that is the suggestion. So you're going to have to come in here if you have a character you don't know what I said or don't know who the character I was talking about is. You can just match the name up within your hero journal. Go to hero journal, just click this, go to 5 stars. And then if it's a fire elemental hero, then you can just search through here and get it from there. So that is all I got for this video. Hopefully this answers a lot of the questions I've been getting as well. Making YouTube videos usually lessens the amount of direct messages and stuff I get, so it's always worth me to just get it done and have it up so people can just go there instead. But thank you for watching. If you're not in the Discord server, if you're willing to join the server, we have over 4,000 people now. We're up to almost 4,100. We're gaining 100, 150 a day. But it's mostly new players. So if any of you are watching this that have some experience in the game, it would help if you joined, and if you're willing to help out the new players asking questions in here. It would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to get as many players into the game to stick with the game as we possibly can. That's the overall goal. So they were going to be asking questions that are going to be following my guide series, though. So if you're joining, I would say stick to my guide for suggestions. Don't go outside of that. You can a little bit, but if someone is trying to do a very specific thing and I've covered it in the guide a way to do it, or follow the way that I did it. But if you need a guild as well, join the Discord. We just made 3 new guilds today. So we're up to 50 guilds, or 49 guilds on the server. So pretty cool. They're all going to be getting max rewards. We're clearing Ancient Inheritance, at least to the second to last third stage. So we might miss one piece of gear. But if you are not getting an Ancient Inheritance buff right now or bonus because your guild's dead, you can hop over and at least get some. So That's up to you though. Thank you for watching. If you're new, if you're willing to subscribe, that'd be awesome. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.